of yet. We are working on it, but as of today, we are not. So this is just an introduction to say hello. Here's who we are. We are getting ready, and some of the things that we are working on. Um, you know, Brian, as the vice president, I'll let you say hello next.
Hi guys, Brian Haberman. I've been an owner for about 6 months of Villa. I've been involved since about 2017 in various capacities as an owner of a condo and other things. Just got the just got into this last summer during the election, as Rich talked about. So glad to be here.
Shawn?
All right. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Shawn Huffman. I'm also a recent new owner since December of last year. I'm from Kentucky, and for those of you who were at my first introduction, little meet and greet, I took along a bottle of bourbon and shared it with everybody, and we did a little taste testing. But I enjoy horse racing. I'm actually in the thoroughbred ownership a little bit, and love to have fun with that. But I'm also an engineer, so when it comes to being able to help out with construction planning and utilities for in the future here, that's one of the services I'm trying to be able to help out with being on the board.
Great. Thanks, Shawn. Who else do we have? Is Ted on the call?
Hello, it's Ted Thompson here. I'm also on the board. I'm not registered yet, but I've been at Red Frog since 2013. I've seen it go through many different cycles. Obviously, I look forward to working to make the island better any way we can. I've got a background in banking, computers, a little bit of everything. A lot of financial stuff. I own a resort as well. I just think that it can be ran more efficiently, and we can get to a better place if we all work together. Thank you.
Okay, well then we'll go ahead and just say that Brett was unable to make it at this time tonight, so we're going to go ahead and skip him. But he is also on this on the new elected board that was 2/3 elected. I see a hand up on cease and desist. Do you want to go ahead and say something?
Yes, but you have to unmute me. You'd have to unmute me. Can you hear me?
I'm assuming cease and desist is Susan. Susan, if that is you, would you like to unmute?
How do I do that? You got to unmute me because I clicked on it and it won't let me. It won't let me unmute. Ah, there we go. Fine. Thanks.
There we go.
Yeah. I'd like y'all to go start over on that. Well, first of all, don't use the word "you're on the board" because, as you know, I was also elected a couple of years ago, and I'm not on the board, and I don't say I'm on the board. So you're breaking a bunch of Panamanian laws by saying that. You can certainly say that you were elected, but you cannot call yourself board members, and I think you should be aware of that. You're signing your messages as president and vice president, and that's just really wrong. Now, that being said, y'all have some interesting ideas, but I think you actually need to go back and tell us who put you up to this, because Dan and I had a bunch of great ideas. We implemented a bunch of great ideas. We got TUCASA on board. We got, the local Panamanian administrator. We got a local bank account. We did lots of stuff, but y'all never came to us and said, "Hey, we don't like what you're doing." No one came to the board and the people who are waiting to be the board and said, "We don't like what we're doing. We think we can do it better." Y'all just decided out of the blue to just file an extraordinary meeting and tell us that we all need to leave like we've done something wrong, which we haven't. So I want to know from each of you, somebody obviously came to you and put you up to this and said that the current board, the 5 current board members plus the people who are waiting in line, who are essentially acting as advisors to that board, who put you up to that? because you certainly didn't respond to anything from Tucasa saying we were looking for board members. So whose idea was it to that the current board and the people who are waiting in an advisory capacity to become board members, whose idea was it? And also I would like to know from each of the people who would like to be board members, what specifically your ties are to the Red Frog area. So for example, I would say I own Villa 62. I don't have any investments in Bastimentos Holdings. I've never bought a condo and not got my condo and gotten OGI credits. So I don't have anything other than Villa 62, but my understanding is a bunch of you all have other investments which are potentially a conflict of interest. And so we want to know everything about everything you own and if you're in Bastimentos Holding, Blue Sea, whatever that company is, OGI, there's like 17 different OGI companies. Which of those are you guys involved in? Some of them, like Ted, great. Ted bought golf carts for the resort. That's fabulous. That should all be disclosed. So, full disclosure, full honesty. Who put you up to this, and what's your association?
Thank you very much, Susan. Thank you very much for your question. I appreciate that. With that said, if you want to let us get through what we have planned, and then you and anybody else can stay on, but we're going to stay on our schedule, and then we can help answer that question towards the end. But we're going to move on to the meeting that we have scheduled.
Which is a classic OGI move to do a presentation and not let people talk. But you guys haven't said who you...
I'm allowing you to talk, Susan. I haven't muted you like you did me. So let's not go there. What I'm telling you is thank you for your question. I'll be happy to answer your question, but I'm not going to waste everybody's time that came for my presentation. So I have a presentation that I have that's about an hour long. When that's over, if you and I would like to stay on the call, and anybody else is more than welcome, I will stay and answer every one of your questions until you are happy. But I guarantee you, you will never be happy with what I have to say. With that said, I'll be happy to try. Okay? Let me get through my presentation without me muting you like you do me. How's that?
Okay,
is that a thumbs up, or are you just going to sit there thumbs down?
Well, I'm just going to say that what you're doing, you are not at peace with the administration.
It's illegal. Thank you very much. I got that. With that said, nobody put me up to this. I'm doing this because I'm tired of the BS that has been going on. All right? So nobody put me up to this, and I'm going to tell you the same thing I've told others. I am not somebody's bitch. Don't sit there and tell me that I don't have an opinion and that I'm doing this because somebody put me up to it.
Simultaneously, 5 of you all just came up with this idea that you thought that you guys could do a better job than the existing board, and that you weren't going to actually ask the existing board with any of your questions?
So, Susan, I'm going to tell you what I told you before. I did ask questions. I sat on the phone for 2 hours with Bill Barker, the president of So Board, and I was told things that were going to be done, and he didn't do them. He muted me, and he shut us all down. You guys did your votes. You did what you did. You have now spent a ton of money that was not in the budget, and I'm done. All right? So we are going to move on and do our thing, and then we'll see. If this doesn't happen in the Registry of Panama, then you win, Susan. Then you can say cease and desist all day long. But I'm not going to try. I'm going to try to make this better with a group of people who want to be. We would love to have you, Susan. Your passion is amazing, and I would love to have you on the team. I'd love to have you be a part of this. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with you for the next 2 hours. So with that said, I will be happy to answer all of your questions at the end. But up until right now, I'm going to put you back on mute so that we can move forward with our presentation. Thank you. All right. So with that said, guys, please feel free to ask questions. I will do my best to get everybody answered. But we are going to move forward. because I don't want to take up everybody's time answering one question. Okay, next slide. Brian, if you might. All right, like I said, welcome everybody. I'm not looking to get into an argument. Let's move on with the presentation. All right, here's who we all are. We are just all owners in villas, not in the lodge, not in condos. We're owners in villas. The purpose of this, as you can see, like I said at the beginning, this is an informal meeting because it is not, we are not registered with the Panamanian government just yet. We are working on it. This is an introduction to the incoming directors, who we are. If you have any questions or concerns, please ask them and we will get to you. A more effective platform for asking questions, because I have felt as an owner that we have not had any other meetings with the current board that we could get questions answered, and that's why the annual meeting took upwards of 2 to 4 hours, because nobody was able to get their questions answered prior. That's kind of what we're hoping to do, so that we can be transparent, get questions answered, and work on what the other villa owners are interested in. We want you to interact with us. Hopefully you'll find this to be a little bit more organized electronically. We are going to take all these meetings, have them recorded. We'll post them on the new website that we're starting for anybody to go back and review. Real quick, the legal updates. Like I said, we are working on getting everything registered. It is not as of yet. We are going to be on a timeline. If we do get registered, then we have to get some things going in regards to the schedules, the boards, and the contracts. As of currently, the current board should be working on those. I'm not aware if they are or not. I would assume they are. I know that Dan is pretty good about doing that, and I have not spoken to him personally to see what they've been working on. Tucasa has kind of shut us down, and they're not necessarily talking to us at this time. So some of the things that we've been working on, again, informal, not official, but we are working on things because we do understand the timelines of having to get things going. Yes, Susan, how can I help you?
Yeah, you need to take that off your website that says that you're doing the budget and you're holding the meeting, because clearly you've already said you're not registered. So that's disruptive to the operation of the homeowners association.
Susan, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. Let me get through my meeting. If you want, go cease and desist or come back at the end. I'm not going to play this game with you.
I'm just pointing out the things that you're doing that are going to get you in trouble.
Listen,
I'm trying to help you.
But yet you keep doing this too. All right? So let us get through our quick little meeting, and then
Just let you go ahead and do stuff that's wrong. Is what you're saying. Let you go ahead and say that you're the board. Let you go ahead and say that you're going to write the budget. Let you go ahead and say that you're going to hold the annual meeting. That's not right.
No one has said that we are disrupting the work that you guys are doing.
You put out a website.
We're saying that we're doing everything in parallel, and we've said that we're informal, that we're unofficial, that we're not registered in every single communication. There's no confusion.
There's absolutely communication. You're signing your emails as president and vice president of the PH Red Frog, although you obviously don't know the name. Do you know? Do you guys even not? You don't even know the name of the organization. Do you know that? You sign it all with the wrong name. You don't even have the name right.
How do I mute her? Because I'm done. We can talk at the end. Cease and desist. Yeah. All right. Brian, do you want to go over the board registration status?
Yeah, for right now, the registration has been submitted. It has not been processed. It is in a queue of things to be processed. So we're waiting for the register to go documented as submitted on the 3rd of July, or on the 4th of July, I guess. So we get status updates every so often. The status is everything's still in process. So we understand it's Panama and things move fairly slowly. So we know that there is just a sequence of things that need to be done, and they're in progress.
Thanks. So here's some of the things that we have found so far in regards to current status of the PH. The PH is indebted by almost $20,000, with approximately $2,100 in penalties occurring monthly. According to the the appeals that the current board has been taking on, two of the judgments against the PH noted that there were no evidence was provided and that the PH and the attorneys didn't show up for the proceedings. That overturned the default judgments, and overturning these default judgments is almost impossible. But yet the current board is spending our funds and trying to appeal them. So in doing so, they keep spending our money, which was not authorized by us. So, hence the reason some of us getting frustrated and moving on. You were asked for bank accounts are being held. The accounts don't have a PH name on them to prevent the government seizure and in the payment to OGI. I understand why they did it the way they did it, but in doing so, we are acquiring monthly penalties, and just that's what it is. We need to get rid of this. The contingency account and one operating account are frozen, and the OGI can renew the freeze in September. If we don't, they're going to renew the freeze. If we don't make these changes with the board. So we're just going to keep finding ourselves going into this over and over and over, and there's not going to be a way out of this if we don't get a new board in place. These are numbers from Tucasa. Everybody received these numbers. I'm sorry, what was that? I didn't hear you. Okay. So these are numbers from Tucasa. Everybody received this. The budgeted income and what's being spent are a little bit different. Shawn, do you have any, or Ted, do you guys have anything that you want to say up to this point before I move on?
No, I haven't been given hard numbers on any of this stuff, and just what you see.
Okay. A lot of these numbers.
Without having any of that what you see, there's no way to give a sound judgment on anything.
We're going over, we're working off of what we can, what Tucasa's been giving us, which is just what everybody's got. They're not giving us anything until we're formalized in the with the Panamanian registrar. So we don't necessarily have 100% of the numbers for everybody, but we're doing the best that we can. As far as the expenses, I know that Dan has been working on them over the last year or so that he's been in place and really done a good job working with Tucasa, and Susan, you as well, in getting things going. But we're still seeing expenses being utilized mostly on the legal side. That's been kind of raised a red flag for us. And you can see how the legal expenses are being used every month, going up and up. And that's not what was budgeted for at the beginning of the year. And you can see how we came up with the numbers of what we have per Tucasa in the frozen account, or the two frozen accounts, and what's available. If we go back to what we owe per the judgment to OGI without any negotiations, we're broke. So we have to negotiate with OGI, and that's the only way we're going to survive. Otherwise, we're dead in the water. We're all in debt, which means that we're all going to have to come up with a little bit more money out of our pockets, which I know I don't necessarily want to.
Not true.
Okay. Okay. Well, I wouldn't know that because as the board, you haven't told us otherwise.
There's a law. Can you hear me? There's a law.
Yeah, we can hear you.
They cannot make a PH become insolvent or bankrupt. It is impossible for a PH to become bankrupt or insolvent. The laws of Panama.
That may or may not be, Susan. With that said,
The laws of Panama, if you just learn something. The laws of Panama say that the maximum amount that you can sequester from a homeowners association is 20% of the operating funds. That leaves us with 80% of the operating funds. The laws and courts of Panama know that as a PH that we need those funds to be able to pay to CASA and to pay for the common area maintenance. So they cannot, this thing where people say we're going to be bankrupt and we're going to be out of money, not true.
okay. Well,
Susan, if you could email that, legal section to me, I'd appreciate it.
I mean, there you go, Susan. We're asking for help. If you've got it and you want to provide it where it's in writing and show us where you got it, we'd be happy to look at it. But as of right now, we don't know what you're saying is the truth.
Ask Lana, your lawyer. She'll look it up for you.
Okay. All right. So we have some delinquencies, but the largest amount is tied to the ongoing litigation, basically $125,000. We have some delinquent accounts. The majority of them, as you can see on here, OGI does is the largest of our delinquent accounts. So we are going to be trying to negotiate and get that down and working with them. In doing so, obviously, there's a lot of things for the negotiations that we have to do. And part of it being the judgment and seeing how we can work with them. But just trying to fight them isn't going to work anymore. We have to play nice in the sandbox to move forward. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Rich, we need them paying moving forward. We can't have them keep accruing this. Yeah.
So that's where we're really going to be working the most, is trying to work with OGI. We have to get them to start paying. There are obviously 2 units, the construction workers and the alley trades. That was a deal that OGI made with them. We have to try to work with them, but I'm not sure how that's going to work yet.
Something you're not aware of, really they are paying. They have not paid their historical past debt, but they are making current payments. Are you not aware of that?
Well, unless you've told us that, no, we're not aware of that.
You've been told that if you had read the report and looked at the unit numbers, you look at the unit numbers and you will see, you get the report every month, compare those unit numbers to the units that have made payments, and you will see that they are indeed making monthly payments. Certainly we want to get this past due amount, and I completely agree with you. We want them to pay that off, but they are making monthly payments. So just be aware of that.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. They are. Now, we want to get the past numbers if we can. I was going to give you guys a compliment. With Erwin's help, you guys have done a fantastic job of getting the majority of the units paid on. And, so thank you very much for doing that. Again, this is not because we're trying to shit on the work that you guys have done. I know that, Susan, you seem to take it very personal, and I want you to know that we are aware that you guys have done a lot of work. You and Dan have busted your butt, and we recognize that. So we're not here to shit on you. We're not here to say that you guys have done a bad job. You guys have really done a good job on some things, and that's a good thing. Now, your anger towards OGI is not allowing us to move forward, and that's what we need to start working on, and that's what we're hoping to move forward and do. So these other, as you can see down here at the bottom, these other units We're working on it. We're still trying to figure out who everyone is so that we can call and find out what's going on. I spoke to one or two of them, and some of the answers I got was, I'm tired of spending money to watch go out the window on lawsuits that I want nothing to do with. So I'm hoping to alleviate that. So I do have two individuals that have stated that they will make it whole when we're no longer fighting ourselves. Our annual budget, our present draft owners, we know these things have to go out. We know the timelines. We haven't necessarily sent them out just yet because the timeline is not there, but we are working on these things. Because we are not official, we haven't sent anything out. But if we do become official, we understand that we have to have things ready to go by certain times and dates, so we are working on them. These are some of the things that we're working on currently. Annual budget, and then send it out for approval. Quarterly reviews, transparent reporting, that's hopefully what you'll be seeing. We'll be posting everything, and as you'll see on the emails that we've sent out, all our email addresses and phone numbers are on there. If anybody has any questions, wants to talk to us offline, at any time we're available. We're going to be using a lot of electronic formats like this, and Brian has done a fantastic job of getting us set up with these so that we can work on these and ask some questions and do our reviews.
What do you mean? What do you mean by discretionary spending on that previous slide? You said you're going to have polls. You understand that there's a mechanism where owners in the annual meeting vote a budget, and we spend to that budget, with the exception of if we are attacked legally, as we were by OGI, that does not have to be approved by the owners. But any other spending, like if you decided to pave the road out to Bastiamentos Holding, that's obviously something you can't do because that wouldn't have been approved by the owners. So what do you mean when you say discretionary spending? Polls or surveys to prioritize discretionary spending. What kind of discretionary spending are you thinking about there?
That's just go ahead, Richard. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm not at this point in time. I'm just saying that, we're putting space holders down, but as of right now, we don't have any discretionary spending in mind. But these are some of the things that we have looked at and we have collectively come up with that we're going to be presenting. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I just wanted to let Susan know this is just a framework. We are still just getting started. We have not been able to engage in any kind of transitionary stuff. We don't know what the budget looks like. Putting in a placeholder for discretionary spending is pretty standard in pretty much anything. But of course, everything would have to be approved by the owner population first.
So if you go back and you read the regulations, there's a list of things that we can spend money on. That is cutting the grass, cutting any trees, repairing the pavers, cleaning out the sewage, not the sewage, the storm drains, replacing the lights, and we are allowed to make a contribution for the lifeguard, and we are allowed to make a contribution for the entrance area. That's it. So discretionary spending like, let's build a club on the beach, or let's fix the, like the point. It's falling down. That seems like a really neat idea to fix the point. Again, we can't do that because that is not in our bylaws. It's outside of the PH. The PH is a very small area. You can't discretionary spend on anything outside of the PH. Do you understand that?
Susan, that was just a placeholder. In regards to you're saying spending on fixing things, your last email specifically called out doing things like that. We did. You did.
I don't understand.
Moving on.
But to understand, that's people's biggest fear. That's why people don't want you guys to just do what you're doing, because the fear is that you don't seem to understand in all your emails and your website, you've got pictures of the Cliff condos. You know, you're talking about improving infrastructure upgrades. It's like you don't even understand that the PH is this little 63 properties, and that the larger property of Red Frog is not of our concern. We would love it if somebody finished the Cliffs condos and somebody finished the Blue Pearl. That would be great. It would improve everybody's property values. But again, that is not the function of this 63 unit homeowners association.
And you're totally understand what you're saying, Susan. With that said, because of the animosity that you guys have been a part of up to this point, and not wanting to play nice in the sandbox, none of that other stuff is getting completed. All right, you're so angry, Susan, you and Bill, that your anger is turning off everybody from working with us, from talking to us, from playing nice in the sandbox. That's what we need to change.
I'm not angry.
I appreciate your passion.
I've just, over the last 2 years, have learned. I got to say, I was like you guys when I started 2 years ago. When I bought a villa here, I thought the old board, I thought there were a bunch of grumpy old men who were like power mad. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? And I, just like you guys, I was like, I'm going to get on the board and I'm going to fix stuff. And Shawn and Dan and I, we're all going to fix stuff.
If you're frustrated, then why are you fighting us? Let us get frustrated now.
Because you need to understand that over the course of the 2 years that I have worked with these people, they have educated me and explained to me the very thing that you seem to not understand right now, which is the PH is a very small geographic little plot of land, and the larger problems of the Red Frog village, or whatever you want to call it, the Red Frog Resort, are not actually a part of this homeowners association. So the fact that the sewer is broken and it stinks to high hell here, not our problem. It's unfortunate. I would like them to fix it, but you cannot ask the owners of these 63 properties to fund that. There's well over 100. There's well over 100 properties here now.
You've been doing this for 2 years now to me. And I've talked to you on the phone. You tend to talk over me and you put words in my mouth. I haven't asked anybody for a damn thing. I haven't asked any homeowner to fix the sewer. But I would like to be a part of the negotiation that works with the company that's going to be. You don't even want to work with them. You just want to tell them whose fault it is and try to make them do something. You have not been willing to work with them. That's the problem. You, Susan, as you're doing right here on this call, are sitting here talking over everyone, which you do on every conversation I've had with you. You talk over and you don't listen. That's the problem. So please, for the 5th time, allow me to get through this, all right? So that we can then, you and I can have yet again another conversation where you educate me on my life. Because that's what you're good at. All right, folks, I'm going to try to move on. As Susan said, the PH is just a few villas, and we're going to work on what we can and cannot do. The overall thing is that we need to help negotiate and get some of the numbers down and move forward. We need to get Red Frog moving forward. That's what I think we're all here for. That's what we want. We all want to see our property and our values move forward. I'm not looking to bankrupt anybody. I'm not looking to all the different things that have been said in the past. I'm looking to move forward, and that's what we need to do. We're working on the service contracts and agreements. We don't have the paperwork from NUCASA or from the prior board, so this is what we've come up with so far. We are working with talking to others, OGI and Eastland Resort Services, to try to figure out how we can move forward, and we understand that they are currently where the prices are and what they need the cost to go up to. We understand TUCASA's numbers are probably going to go up, as they should, over the next year, because they gave us one we understand that these prices and the costs are going to go up like they do everywhere. We understand the dates of what some of these renewals are. We're trying to get in front of them. But again, because this is informal and we are not the registered parties, we can't make those negotiations as of yet. But we are working on it so that if we do get into place, we will be. Here's some of the updated services or the updated things from IRS. This is obviously our largest expenditure. We understand that. IRS has been working on several projects to try to get us moving forward as a resort. To your point, the point
La Rosa.
is not ours.
It's not ours. The store,
Again,
not ours. Are we responsible for making the store profitable? Why did the 63 owners, who own only 63 out of over 100 people, why do you think the 63 owners are responsible for fixing the problems with the store and La Rosa?
Because we want a nice place to live, Susan.
But you can't ask me to. You know what? You guys are an investment group, and that's great. I applaud that. You should form your own investment group, and you should ask people who want to contribute. And I tell you what, I would actually contribute to that. But what you cannot ask is to force everyone in this group to use their dues to invest in La Rosa, to invest in the shop. It's in your bullet points. It's in your bullet points. I'm happy for you all to fix it. Go ahead and fix everything, but don't tax everyone.
Just be quiet for a couple minutes. Let us get through this.
You just said you weren't going to ask for us to invest. It says La Rosa.
The point has been leased and to a brand new French restaurant. Again, we as the board had nothing to do with that. IRS is working on it. IRS is working on the potholes in the unpaved section on the beach road, graded, flattened so far as much as possible. They've invested $20,000 in improvements in La Rosa. Not us as a board, Susan. That's what it says on the top, IRS. All right? And these are just some of the things that they're working on. We've been trying to work with them to find out what they're doing, where they're going, and work with them, so that the resort as a whole becomes better. I don't know where this, Susan's saying that we are making money on this board and being an investment group. I'm not an investment group.
Why are you talking about Selena?
That's all I own.
Why are you talking about Selena, La Rosa? What does this PH have to do?
Everybody agrees that if the point is there, La Rosa's there, that there are places for us and our guests to go eat and go visit and go do things. And the better the roads are, the better it is for the resort. Those are the things that we're working on. If you want to contribute and work and go spend money at the coffee bar and go spend money at the restaurant and at the store, fantastic. That'll help keep them open. But I'm not asking us as a board to keep those open.
But why are you talking about it right here?
Go ahead and just allow
Selena.
IRS to put the money in for improvements on those things.
Why is this part of the
Brian,
presentation?
do you have anything else?
No, the idea was just to understand how much IRS is contributing to the rest of the resort, how much they're throwing into La Rosa and the point, the grocery store, things we all use.
Right, so to try to make the resort better.
Yeah, they're not sitting still either.
I'm trying to look on here and at our people on the board, or I'm sorry, people that have called in. Other than Susan, I haven't seen any other hands up. If there's any other hands up, please let me know. I'll be happy to ask or let you speak your mind. We have to create a balanced scorecard for the service providers to evaluate our current
welcome
We
center,
have spoken
not
to a
our
few
problem.
of the owners.
Oh my God.
and these are some of the things that they have asked or told us that they're interested in within the villas and within our area. Roof replacement for the Welcome Center and La Rosa needs to be done.
Not our
Dock
problem.
Replacement for the Welcome Center. Again, these are not all things that we as a COA. I understand, Susan. I understand what you're saying.
Why is it part of
Not
your
all these
presentation?
are on us individually, but we have to work with everybody within the resort to get these things going. All right. So these
Form
are
an
things that are
investment group.
on the docket. Road work and paving completion in several areas, especially within our area. Preventative maintenance on La Rosa and the Welcome Center. These are
No.
things that we're working on with IRS, and we understand that they're working on doing some of these. We just showed you that they're throwing some money in. I don't need to read all of these.
A
to you,
backhoe.
but I did want you guys
Oh my
to know
God,
that we
a
have been talking
backhoe?
to them and working with them.
We're
to
not
see
buying
what
a
we can and
backhoe.
cannot be a part of.
We're not buying a backhoe.
These are all fallen tree removal things that we are aware of.
A backhoe?
I'd like to start a couple, questions and polls. I'm going to put out there. You guys can go ahead. We'll get to the questions. You can answer it right on the screen. Just click on it. It'll show up anonymously, but it'll give us an idea of things that we can move forward working on. Some of the issues and things that I have spoken to a few people, and then we'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Next steps in the timeline. We've sent some of the polls. Brian,
hang on a second, Rich. Hang on a second. I just launched the polls. So, does everyone see that on their screen?
No.
No.
Maybe if you open up the chat window, there might be a poll question in your chat window.
No. Oh.
Can anyone see that?
Yep.
I do. Okay. So the one I've got under chat, if everybody can take a look under chat, you'll see polls. The names will not be, it's all anonymous. It says which capital improvement should be prioritized for the year. Just want to know what everybody's thinking.
Are you out of your minds?
So that we can best talk to IRS and OGI and everybody else to figure out where we need to go, where we need to focus. As you can see, renovation of hospitality areas, surfacing of unsurfaced roads and walkways, resurfacing of the pool decks and walkways, upgrading stormwater drainage systems, modernizing the beach access points and signing, upgrading lighting in the common areas. Again, these are all things.
None of the above?
That we need to, as a COA, have a pulse on our resort and Red Frog, and so that we can go back as a COA and talk to others and see where they can best focus on to help us get to where we're going. So please, if you guys don't mind, give us your thoughts, click on it, submit your vote, and let us know where you think things need to go. Okay. Do we have another vote besides that one, Brian?
We have several. I'm trying to make sure that everyone can see them and can actually answer. I'm not sure that anyone is answering. So if
and that's fine. They can answer it later if you want to put them all up.
yeah. So it looks like if you go to the chat bubble, it should appear on the right-hand side in the chat window. If you're on a mobile client, it should give you a pop-up in the center. Now we've got some responses coming in. Okay, if I say done, I don't know if you can resubmit it. So I'm going to go ahead and say done on this first one. then we can move on to some others. All right.
Susan, you seem to be very vocal about how I'm asking people to spend their money. I'm not. What I am doing is I'm asking people what they would like me to help negotiate the IRS to spend its money on. That's what I'm asking. I'm not asking you to spend any money on anything you're not supposed to, Susan. So relax.
Okay, the second poll should be out. You should be able to see that.
I don't know in the future, Brian, if there's a way that we can put all the polls out and let people answer.
We'll find out. I'll look at that. This is the first try to get these kicked off, Richard. I'm sorry. It looks like it's serial. I have to kick each of them off one at a time. Okay, I'm going to kick the third one off. I don't know if anybody's able to see these or answer.
Well, I definitely see them.
Okay. Are you able to click on anything and answer anything?
Yeah, I'm having to do it twice. The first time I push submit, it gives me something went wrong, and then I close that, and I'm able to submit it again. That works.
Right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and step through these then. Maybe this is not the best way to do this.
Guys, will everybody on the call please understand this is a learning tool for us as well.
Yeah.
To understand how to work the system, so in the future we can best do it, so we're not having to sit and scream at each other, but one person takes over the meeting. Yeah, this one's not allowing me to view the poll. It's not allowing me to open it.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe we should just get these. So I think it's maybe more productive at this point if everyone would just email their concerns to us and where the direction they want us to go, things they want us to consider. Maybe it's easier just to freeform this.
That's a great idea. So that we're not wasting everybody's time for everybody that's on the call. If you have any concerns that you'd like us to read, please send us those concerns so we can take a look at them, and we'll be happy to get back to you after with our thoughts on what's going on. Again, nobody's doing anything at this particular time. These are all just questions so that we have some answers and direction in the future. In our negotiations and working with the other COAs, working with Eastland Resort Services, and trying to make our beautiful resort a better place. And as far as Susan, as far as your statement here that they're not providing a lifeguard, I'm not sure that I agree with that. The last time I was there was a new lifeguard there every day, all day that I was there. I know that, I've spoken to a couple of people that have met the new lifeguard and liked it. So unless you have something factual that there's a receipt that there's no lifeguard, please here's some next steps on the timeline. We understand that we have to complete the registration with Panama. We hope to have that done by the end of the month. We're working on developing the budget, the capital plan, complete the transition. Again, we'd love to include Susan and Dan and whoever else would like to be a part of it once this is over, and have them be a part of working with us and making this a better resort. We need to conduct our annual assembly on the 3rd, and then we hope to negotiate the new contracts. That's the quick little timeline of what we need to do right away. You know, whether you can believe it or not, with my tone of voice towards Susan, we are excited about picking up the baton from the old board and working with them and making this a better place. We take the mandate very seriously. I'm not stepping up to this, and nobody else on the 5 of us are not stepping up to this because we want to waste our time, yours, or anybody else. Again, if you have any personal or professional experience, you know, that you can bring to the table, please let us know. We want to work closely with you. We are trying to bring some of our personal and professional experience to take our COA to the next level. And we look forward to moving forward with the community and helping our beautiful place become a better place. I can't go backwards. All I can do is go forward. And that's kind of where we're at. So thank you. Again, if you have anything that you would like to say to us, please do. Whether it be in an email to us personally, you can email to the whole board, or like I said, just call us. Here's some of the legal processes that we were able to pull together and where we're at. If you want me to talk about some of these, I don't know that we need to hash it. But if anybody's interested, you know, Brian and I can go over it with you. You could take a look at it here. Again, all this will be posted.
All right, well, I think I'm going to stop sharing and stop the recording transcription.
Anybody else have any questions?
Why didn't you contact us?
Okay. Well, the only answer I see. All right. Okay, well, that's all I've got. If there's no questions, thanks, guys. And thanks for being a part of this. Like I said, feel free to email us, talk to us, and we hope to see you guys soon.